The shriek of the kettle tore through the stillness of the kitchen, a piercing sound that made Lena's fingers tremble as she poured boiling water into her mug. Steam rose in delicate spirals, pricking her eyes, or maybe it was a tear she refused to let fall. She stood motionless, gripping the chipped ceramic cup, as Ryan's voice drifted from the living room, low, secretive, unfamiliar. "No, not tonight," he murmured into his phone. His words were quiet, yet sharp enough to wound. "She's here. I'll call you later." Lena's heart jolted. A sudden drop, like missing a step in the dark. She? The word burned. And later, it sounded like a promise he dared not keep while she was near. Their apartment, the place that felt like home for 3 years, suddenly seemed strange. The couch where they'd once curled up watching thrillers, the coffee table marked by her restless tapping, even the faint scent of lavender from her candles, all of it mocked her. She strained to catch more of his words, but Ryan's voice faded into a whisper, then silence. The soft click of his phone locking was louder than it had any right to be. Her fingers tightened around the mug, the heat biting into her palms, anchoring her in the unease flooding her chest. She wanted to march in, confront him, demand answers, but her body wouldn't move. What if she was wrong? What if she was imagining everything? Ryan appeared in the doorway, his smile easy, practiced, but it never reached his hazel eyes. "Tea again?" he asked casually, leaning on the counter, as if he hadn't just been whispering secrets. His dark hair was tousled, his flannel slightly untucked, and for a split second he looked like the man she'd fallen in love with. But the air between them hummed with unspoken tension. "You okay, Lena? You look off." Her throat felt tight. "Just tired," she lied, stirring her tea, the spoon clinking too loudly against the mug, a small, steady rhythm to her racing thoughts. She wanted to ask, "Who were you talking to? Why did you sound so guilty?" But the question stayed trapped in her chest. Instead, she managed, "Who was on the phone?" He hesitated, barely a beat too long, then shrugged. "Work. They're bugging me about the deadline." He turned away, grabbing an apple from the bowl, his movement slow, careful, avoiding her eyes. Lena's stomach knotted. Ryan worked in IT. Deadlines didn't call for hushed, late-night conversations. She sipped her tea, the chamomile bitter now, and watched him bite into the apple with forced nonchalance that felt like a slap. The next morning, the apartment was unbearably still. Ryan had already left. His side of the bed was cold. Lena sat at the edge, staring at his pillow, the shallow dip where his head had rested still visible. Her mind replayed his call, dissecting every tone, every pause. She had always trusted him. Trusted his long nights, the client dinners, the sudden need for space. But now, each memory felt like a clue she'd ignored. His laptop sat open on the desk, unguarded. Her hand hovered over the keyboard. "This is wrong," her conscience whispered. So his lying, her heart answered. The screen flickered to life, his email already open. Her pulse roared in her ears as she scrolled. One name leapt out. Clara, a colleague, he'd said. Just a project partner. But the messages told another story. "Missed you at the bar last night. Timestamp, 2 days ago. Can't wait for Thursday," winky face. Thursday. Tomorrow. Her vision blurred. She slammed the laptop shut, her breath jagged. "You're overreacting," she told herself. "It's nothing." But her shaking hands betrayed her. At work, the familiar hum of keyboards and fluorescent lights couldn't drown out the storm in her head. She texted him, "Dinner tonight?" Hours later, his reply arrived. "Stuck at work. Rain check." The words hit like a blow. Too casual, too easy. The glow of the screen felt harsh in the dim cubicle. He's lying, she thought, a cold certainty settling in her veins. Her fingers moved on their own, typing Clara into a search bar. A LinkedIn profile appeared. A smiling brunette, professional and polished, tagged in photos with Ryan at a conference last month. Their heads tilted close, their smiles intimate. Lena's heartbeat thundered. She left early, claiming a headache, but the real pain was deeper, a fracture in her trust. That night, Ryan came home late, rain clinging to his jacket, and a faint trace of perfume that wasn't hers. Lena sat on the couch, a book open in her lap, unread. "Long day?" she asked, her tone calm, controlled. He nodded without meeting her gaze. "Server crash," he muttered. The lie was thin, trembling on weak legs. She wanted to scream, to throw the truth in his face. But what if she was wrong? What if she ruined everything over nothing? Instead, she watched him move through their nightly routine, brushing his teeth, changing into sweats, estranged in the body of the man she loved. Thursday came heavy with dread. Lena called in sick, her voice steady even as her heart pounded. She waited for Ryan to leave, then followed him through the city's gray drizzle. From across the street, she saw him through a cafe window, laughing with Clara. Her hand brushed his, and he didn't pull away. Lena's knees gave out. She crouched behind a parked car, palms pressed to the wet pavement, her breath shallow. "It's just coffee," she lied to herself. "Just work." But deep down she knew. The truth spread through her like poison. That night she faced him. "Who's Clara?" she asked, voice trembling but steady enough to hold. Ryan froze. His face drained of color, eyes flickering like a trapped animal's. "She's just a co-worker," he said quickly, but his voice cracked, betraying him. Lena's laugh was hollow. "Stop pretending we're married," she spat, every word a blade. "You don't get to decide where I go or who I'm with anymore." He said nothing. The silence screamed louder than any denial could. Later, she found the final proof, an email in his trash folder. "I'm sorry. I didn't know you were still with her." Clara hadn't known either. Ryan had lied to them both. The anger drained from her, leaving only grief. The love she'd carried for him was now just an open wound. Lena packed her bag with calm hands, walked to the door, and didn't look back. The click of it closing behind her sounded louder than any shout. Outside, the rain fell harder, washing away the last fragments of her trust, leaving her with nothing but the ache of a story rewritten by betrayal.